Hey everyone, welcome to Fireteam Misadventure, your fun show where we talk about Destiny fun, good and bad, with some of your favorite Guardians for the Tower. We're all here after I had kind of a hazardous week last week, so I was like, I can't do shit this week. Which is okay because there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. So we decided to come in today and have some fun with you guys. So I'm one of your Guardians. I'm Slayton. You can see me in the tower as my wizard all the time. Always on Xbox. Now the crossplays here. I really need to add DP to my list so we can start playing some fun things. Speaking of which, I have DP here.
Hi.
With
Sorry.
his dog that's going to get...
Oh, look at that tongue.
I know. And we have Maddie.
Hello.
And we have Arctic.
Hi, I'm a white guy.
An Alaskan. An Alaskan. That's a special white guy. That's ultra white.
Almost as special as a Florida white guy.
Let's go.
Oh, what? So, we have a main topic I want to talk about today because a couple episodes ago, after we had talked about Gambit and PvP, Eddie reached out to me and just wanted to do a call about could we fix Gambit and PvP. We had this great talk, and the general consensus was I don't think there's a way we could actually fix it. I mean, we've come up with all these off-the-wall ideas of how we would run. Maybe we could run a good version of Gambit and PvP, but they just got more complicated the longer we talked. It was a lot of fun. So I figured we would talk about that today with you guys. But first, I didn't see this week at Bungie. Was it as boring as last week's?
Very short.
Yeah, Like they literally threw everything out of that presentation, and now they have nothing really to show for it.
Yep.
Right.
So I don't think there's
this week covered a little bit about Trials, but it was all rehashed from about a month ago, so it doesn't really matter.
So Trials hasn't started yet, right?
It starts tomorrow.
This weekend.
Tomorrow.
Yep. Tomorrow.
Well, that'll be fun to talk about next week because I was hoping it had already started because honestly, I haven't been in Destiny outside to do the weekly event because I'm just trying to space it out for 6 months. And I don't have this big desire I'm going to be missing out on something because it's literally 6 months. I've been playing a lot of other things and just not really playing games. So how have you guys been playing?
Minimally. I've done a little bit of some PvP in the first and third week, a little bit last week too for Iron Banner, and then just the weekly story stuff, and that's been it.
Yeah, I realized that not a lot of people have been there, but I saw this article the other day that I found it very interesting that they were talking about how Destiny's community has grown with every season. And I'm guessing new players are just really being able to eat it up, but will they be kind of the bitter old crew when they get to our level at some point in time?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
That's so sad.
7 years. 7 years I've been on this game. And me and a buddy of mine, we have no desire.
Yeah. I mean, I guess when I say I've only been doing the weekly stuff, it's a little bit of a lie because both of my brothers have gotten back into the game and now they're working their way up through stuff. So helping them out with the occasional raid and dungeon has been fun. But yeah, there's so much stuff for them because of all the seasonal stuff kind of overlapping now at this point that they're overwhelmed. I mean, yeah, new player experience ain't great.
I remember being that way, and it was great. God, I have so much to do. I just don't know where to start. Now it's like there is no, FOMO, and I kind of thought to myself, if there is no, FOMO, what's there to do? Like, oh, yeah, reissued weapons for the veterans. For the new people, they're these are awesome. Yeah, that was last 3 years ago.
So I figured we would talk today, and I'm going to let the two of you talk most of this, and let Maddie kind of ask questions. Because do you think PvP is going to survive the Witch Queen?
It'll survive. It will.
Should it survive?
I think I think PvP will survive in the same way that Gambit has survived, until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I just for me, period. Going from Warzone and not having to deal with the ability spam that has gotten way out of control, completely out of control, is I think the final nail in the coffin for me. I mean, I enjoy Destiny PvP and the movement and the gun mechanics and all, but none of that matters anymore. It's all about abilities, and I'm not an ability person. I love gunplay, and it will survive for people who love to make builds around nades and melees and your super. But beyond that, I haven't had too much interest. I'm more of a competitive person, and I feel that if you're an ability spam person, it's not competitive at all.
Yep, no, I totally agree. And unless there's some serious sandbox changes in which abilities are dramatically affected, it's not going to fix things for us. On the other hand, if they overtune it, it's going to turn a lot of other people off that are currently enjoying it. So, I mean, there's the give and take there. And, I haven't enjoyed Destiny PvP in over a season and a half now.
Since Stasis.
Basically since Stasis.
Since Stasis.
I mean, at least those first couple of seasons, it's not that Stasis was bearable. It's just that the rest of the meta was good enough to kind of offset that. But if I want my PvP fix, I'm gonna go play some other game. I've been playing Splitgate. Halo's getting ready to come out. I've got other things I could play.
I'm loving Warzone right now. Like, I even go back and play the Modern Warfare, your multiplayer, the Cold War multiplayer. I'm on I'm on that camo grind. I love my camos, and I love that I can mix and match attachments and things like that. And like I said earlier, the nail in the coffin was the ability twab. When I saw that it was not really any nerfs at all, I don't know. It just.
But hey, sliding is a problem.
Oh, sliding's a problem. Yeah. And then they give hunters, which I wasn't mad, but they gave hunters like unlimited dodges. You could do like 6 and get your super halfway in 15 seconds. Like, I really don't think Bungie's sandbox team knows what the hell is going on. That's I don't think they have known. I think they may have a clue, but they're like, we're gonna throw it into the wild and see what happens. But we play tested it. Oh, we didn't realize that this was gonna happen. How, if you play tested it, how do you not know that this was gonna happen? That we were gonna exploit the hell out of something. You know what I'm saying? So
hundreds of thousands of people versus a small team.
Exactly.
So, should PvP survive past the Witch Queen? Do you think, with the fact that they can't devote more to it, it's time to just drop it and just really focus on the story?
If they want to be a true MMORPG, drop PvP.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
No, they're not going to. Drop PvP and Gambit. Just worry about your PvE.
It's too much part of Bungie's identity to have both.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, they can bring people in. I mean, Arctic, he's a PvP person, right? So he's going to buy Halo Infinite the minute it comes out because that's what he's going to do. I myself am pretty pissed off right now to find out I can't even play a co-op campaign until the end of the first season. So I'm probably going to say F you Halo for 3 months after they drop because I'm pretty pissed off about it.
Don't worry, I'm pissed off about it too. But different game, different podcast.
Yeah, but I mean, so that's it's all about being able to bring in a lot of people who have different interests, and then being able to mix and match them together. Because you'll still have people that will stay. They're not going to join. Nobody's joining Destiny to go play PvP. Nobody's joining Destiny to go do trials, to go do Iron Banner. They're staying at Destiny because that's the aspect they like you guys. That's what they fell in love with. That's what kept them at the game. They've made all these friends through the game. It's a way for them to still have that attachment without having to start a new game. Like, okay, guys, let's go play some Iron Banner this week. And then, you and your five buddies.
Just like you just said, well, yeah, guys, let's go play some Iron Banner.
But it's still bringing people in. And if it wasn't for that, then that person and that 6 people, they wouldn't even be playing Destiny if it wasn't for Iron Banner.
So my only
keep
thing
in mind, D, is that we're jaded. We're jaded as fuck. And so even though we might not be enjoying it, there are plenty of people that are.
I understand that. Like, a lot of people love the ability spam. I don't have to be good. I could just charge my abilities and not have to even do nothing. See, I know Destiny was never meant to be a competitive game space. But for D1 originals like Arctic and ourselves, we made it competitive. We made it on a level to where it was a challenge and a grind and an accomplishment. There's a sense of competitiveness. And I think the abilities with the introduction of stasis and everything since has, like, it was already coming with Dawnblade, with top tree Dawn and bottom tree, Striker being broken for a long time. I was like, okay, we're getting a little ability heavy here. And when the TWAB came out about abilities, it completely made me 100% jaded.
I maintain that the most competitive games out there are the ones that aren't even trying to be competitive.
Sure.
And that's where Destiny kind of turned that corner is, in D1. Holy cow, your camera is messing up there, Slayton.
I know, I'm just sitting here.
It's been messing up, yeah.
That's why I'm like,
new computer.
Yeah. Well, in D1, it wasn't competitive, but it was the player base that got it there. And it carried over into Destiny too. And the mindset for a lot of players is, wow, I got this really cool gun in PvE. Let's go show it off in PvP. Let's see how it performs. And that's kind of like the litmus test for how good things are for a lot of at least veteran players. It's, can it compete in both PvE and PvP? So,
I mean, if you look at the Recluse Mountaintop meta, both were dominant in both PvE and PvP at the same exact time.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I do.
And both were locked behind PvP, so those of us who suck at PvP could never get them.
I do feel for the PvE people that had to come in and get it. But at the same time, for people who really don't like PvE too much because it's the same ads that are coming out of the same place all this freaking time, it's boring for a PvP person. For not every PvP person, but it just gets so monotonous grinding over and over.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So while I agree with that, D, it's also incredibly easy for a PvP player to go into high-end PvE content and get the guns that they want versus for a PvE player to come into PvP.
I understand that, but for me, that whole point was I have to go into Nightfalls. I don't mind doing Nightfalls, but they're boring because once you get a strat down, it's like, okay, we're doing the exact same thing over and over, and it's just so mind-numbing to me as a PvP player that's always doing this, and there's always something different.
Yeah, but the difference is that you're just getting bored with it.
The skill
I'm
level,
getting homicidal with it because I can't even get a single kill with the stupid grenade launcher. They got to bring in and kill like 200 fucking guardians in order to get this special ass gun. And then, now you got to go into comp and you got to get 200 or 2,100 points to get to glory to get it. And then you got to go over here and do this. And it's like, no, this isn't just grinding. I don't care about grinding. If it was just going in and saying you had to get this many games or this many wins or just, I don't know, straight up combo of regular kills along with grenade kills, like I get you want to match the weapon you're getting, but I was borderline homicidal at one point before I got Recluse because I was like, fuck you guys. I mean, if it was just, oh man, I'm so bored and just doing this over and over, and I still got the same amount of points and results every time I played a match, and it was just a grind, I could handle that. But when it's like completely locked behind my ability to play this mode that I'm not good at, and I know I'm not good at, and I'm so bad I don't even want to reach out to my clan to help me because they can't. It has to be my kills. How is my clan going to help me get my kills? You know, like,
Right.
It gets frustrating because it's like I can't even. I know, and yes, it's called practice. It's called getting tips and things from people like you guys who know what you're talking about. But you know, it's not
So-
like,
No,
oh,
I
I
understand.
play PvP.
So-
Oh, I
really
need to
do.
get this raid. Oh, here's 5 people that can carry your ass. You know, you really
So-
don't have to do anything.
So with those points
Wow.
being said, and your frustrations with not being able to go into PvP and just play it and get the stuff you want instead of, you know, having to actually be decent or good at it, does the changes to trials make you interested in going in and playing it? Because with the way that this season's meta with linear fusion rifles and fusion rifles,
Oh, it's gonna be
this trials linear fusion rifle has the potential to be the best DPS weapon in the game, and you no longer needing to actually go in and win 7 games in a row to get it.
Yep.
Are you interested in just going in and playing and getting stuff out of it because you're playing it?
I'm interested to try it. Yeah. I mean, I don't
would it
think
be
I
worth
want
the
to.
aggravation and the frustration?
Well,
and
okay, see,
getting
here's the
club
thing.
stomped on?
I don't
That's
want
the
to go
question.
in. I don't want to go into the singles list. I know that they have that, right? You know, you're a
Mhm.
singular player. No, I would like to try trials, but I want to do it with Bullet Head's clan members and have a good time and be like, "Yo, let's go try this out."
So
no
you want to have a good
expectation.
time in
No,
trials? is
yeah,
what you're saying.
no.
Good luck. Good luck. That's
Well,
all. Good luck.
that's
No,
beyond
no.
the point. I think the point being
it's
is
more
that
of just I want
being
to try
able-
it out, but in
I
low
understand.
stress environment. Like, oh, since we don't have to win 7 in a row to actually get some shit. Yeah, you still have to do that to get flawless, but all I got to do is win a few matches here and there. Let's go play for 3-4 hours. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's like, you know. And as long as I can play with people that we're just laughing and have a good time and sharing some beers on a Saturday night, I don't care. Now it's a
I would go
social
do
thing.
that.
Yeah.
I was just gonna be social, not really take it seriously.
I mean, still giving a good faith effort, you know, like I'm not going to sit there and fuck off the whole night, but, you know,
See,
if I want to try
that's-
something different.
That's where, when say like I'm asked or Arctic is asked or anyone who takes it any somewhat competitively, you know, we understand the fact that you're not good, I guess you know per se, but for us it's extra aggravating when a lower skilled person, like I'm a little lower skilled than Arctic. Y'all are a little lower skilled than me. So
Oh, I'm way lower skilled than you.
when that happens, like Arctic and I can vibe because we can be on the same level as far as communication and things like that, because that's where our minds are. But when we have 2 people, say you 2 were to ask me, I would be understanding of what's about to happen when we go in there.
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna give the anecdote. So,
but it's going to destroy me inside because I can't rage out with
Yeah.
not winning. That's
I'm-
the issue.
I'm gonna give the anecdote that my mom was talking to my niece, and my niece is getting into gaming. She likes playing Warzone. She likes playing some other stuff, and she volunteers my brother and I to play with her. And it's one of those things. It's like, for example, DP and I, we think I don't want to be rude or disrespectful, but
Condescending about
at a
that.
different level, we understand that if DP is over here and I'm over here, there's only one spawning point that the enemy can be at. We can mentally gauge those things and play the mind game and go and
maneuver, do all
right
kinds of
and
things.
doing that kind of stuff. And so when you're playing with people that don't necessarily understand that, it's like playing with your baby niece.
It's also, I know Arctic can hold his own, so I don't have that worry too much. Like I'm not going to leave him too much. There's a lot of thought involved. Like, Okay, if
Oh,
I
yeah.
go for a flank, I need to understand and be in a position to get back to Arctic in case he gets, converged on for whatever reason. And he's thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it's a totally different mindset where you guys have like that, Civ 6 Axis and Allies kind of strategy game going on in your head while you're playing. You've already known how to inspect your enemy and stuff like that. And to me, it's not that I don't necessarily have the intelligence or skills to become that player. I'm just not interested in becoming that player. But
exactly.
I understand completely where you guys are coming from, because my husband's the same thing. When he actually did play Destiny, that's what he wanted to play. The only reason he sucked at it was because he didn't put enough time into the game to get the weapons you need to be the player you want. He came from Halo, where it was just like, these are your weapons. You pick them up or you don't. You don't have to grind for new shit. But even his experience being a Halo player, that's what he did, was the PvP, was all the time going in, figuring out that strategy. He's a strategy, long-term kind of player, which is like what you guys are like. And me, everyone always tells me, why aren't you good at chess? Why don't you like chess? You're a math person. Aren't you all about the long-term? And I'm like, nope. Let's talk about this now. Let's do this now. I'm not here to sit and think about my move for 10, 15 minutes.
So do you feel that's where PvP is?
I think PvP is starting to be for people like me who get bored. Yep, that's why they're upping the abilities. They're upping the super spams, the ability spams, the melee spams, is because people like me. I think
it's going to kill Destiny PvP, honestly speaking.
Yeah. Well, it's going to kill it for you and me. It's going to elevate it.
It's going to turn it all into mayhem, is what it is. It's just going to be mayhem all the time.
Do you feel that that's what Bungie, like any of y'all, do you feel that's what Bungie has been striving for? Like, to get all the sweats out and have all the casuals have fun?
I don't know if
it's been an evolution. I think they really wanted to have your sweats, but then you get your goddamn cheaters in. So then all they're dealing with is a bunch of people complaining about cheaters. You got a bunch of cheaters getting their shit done, and you got the people in the middle are like, well, I don't like these cheaters, but I still want to get there, and I can't get there. And then the sucky people who are blaming the cheaters for being sucky, when really it's just because they're sucky, like me, that fucking cheater, when really no.
That's every game that you go into. But at the same time, I feel that's why skill-based matchmaking can't work to what it needs to work for, which is why they don't bring it in so hardcore for any game. If you go off of KDs, you got a cheater in there that's going to have a really high KD, and you're going to be with all your good players, and then they're the only ones that are dealing with it. And then you have that group that's been isolated with a bunch of cheaters, and then the lower groups, as that they get better, they come in against not only the cheaters but also the people who are good. So I mean, it's even tougher for casuals. So
I remember
a lot of talk about skill-based matchmaking. I'm like,
I remember you making comments that you could tell certain players who had paid somebody else to get into a certain level. Like, this guy paid for his recluse because he's now. This is back when Recluse and Mountaintop, they were pretty heavy into the skill-based matchmaking.
The biggest thing that
and then you could tell.
In my opinion, in Destiny history of PvP, the biggest gaps you saw for any two weapons was Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten. You can tell who grinded it out and who got it and learned to use it. I did it 13 times, 9 times in one season for Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten.
I did my first grind of that all in the same weekend right before a season changed over, and that was the biggest mistake of my life.
It will improve your hand cannon game like you wouldn't believe. Going for Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten. And once you got good with it, you were like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. And that showed me back then exactly who had the skill to use the good gun compared to the person who said, will you jump on my account and get it for me?
Right. Well, and didn't those require... Because was that the one? Because I made it halfway through.
I think that was
you had to
toughest grind.
Solar hand cannon kills. Then you had to get headshot hand cannon kills, and then you had to get something else. I didn't even make it to the
solar kills.
And then
I was like I got to like third step, and I'm like, more fucking hand cannon kills.
Then
Okay,
you got Lunas, and you had to get 100 kills with Lunas to get Not Forgotten.
It was more than that when it
Or
came
was
out.
it
It was
300?
okay.
It was 500. Then they lowered it to
500?
3. Then back
it
down
was
to
3
1.
when I started it. Yeah. So yeah, it was that right there could tell you in PvP. Now you don't have to be good with any guns in Destiny PvP. You just got to know how to build.
I'm
Oh,
hoping.
And I am slightly disappointed in that. As much as I raged, it still was like, well, that's just a part of the game that I don't get to play. Kind of like, I'm not going to fucking solo Ribbon. I'm not going to 3-man the end of Bach. There are certain content in the game that, I'm never going to do a Grandmaster solo. I'm probably never going to do any of the dungeons solo flawless. There are things that it doesn't matter. There's only a small group of people.
Level and being okay with it.
Well, those people that do that, they're streamers who play this game fucking 24/7.
In PvP, though, in any PvP game, especially COD, no one likes to die. So when you have people that are constantly getting stomped on and they can't comprehend why they're getting stomped on all the time, or say, okay, look, here's what I need to do. Here's my mistakes. They refuse to accept the level they're on and say, this is my level. Me? I'm not no Trials God. Hell no. I'm not no Trials God. If I have the right people with me, yes, I can do well. But I'm not, one of those guys that can go in there and 1v3 every fucking Trials game. It's not going to happen for me. So I know my level, but I also strive to go above my level at the same time. I watch my own streams. I watch my own gameplay. Not everybody does that. So then you get
like almost no one does that.
Yeah, I do. I do. I review
and that's not a jab, but there's no instant gratification in that, and that's the mindset of a gamer nowadays. Even for me, with limited time to play, being able to just go in, pub stomp, get 40 kills in a game, and move on, that feels good.
It does.
But getting 40 kills put on you and going back and being like, well, this is why this guy was doing okay. That people don't want to do that.
I've done that since I was a kid because I feel I can get to a better level. So when I go and watch my own mistakes and learn from my own mistakes, that's when I go, okay. Now I also watch, people who are better than me. And I tell anyone that I train, go watch, this person. Go watch this person. Look what they're doing. Analyze why they're doing it possibly and when they're doing it. That's just me being a PvP gamer in general for any game. I just want to keep going up and up and up for my own personal satisfaction.
Yeah. Right. Well, and it's an attitude and it's a mindset.
That's not the way it is anymore.
It's
sad to me.
Well, and it is, and it's different because, there are times. I mean, every time I go into PvP, I'm gonna die a lot. I get a little over the top, where I'm like, I'm gonna go blow in with whatever I got in my hand and die. Oh, why did I die? I still make note of.
Sometimes that's the best thing to do.
I did this wrong. I should have waited. I saw him on my screen. I should have waited till he came around the corner. But
Passive
then it's funny.
Isn't always right though. You always gotta know that.
Yeah, and then I'll get a little toxic now and then, depending on what I'm doing. But really, it's what's kind of strange, I think, for myself is because of clanmates and just gaming in general, I've gotten more into, say, like Apex Legends and playing Warzone. And when I go in there, I'm all of a sudden in this, like, mode of, okay, where are we going to go? What's the strategy? Got to figure out people, where are they at? You all got to be quiet so I can hear the background. I need to hear noises. And I start observing. It's like a whole different mindset of playing those games than it is playing Destiny. And I still fuck up in them. I mean, you got
to win with us on Rebirth. And on Rebirth, that is a fast-paced, kind of sweaty game mode because it's always a race because it's a tiny little island, and you got to win with us, and you did very well. And
I
was
got
like,
a few kills, and I was,
well, why can't you do this in Destiny? And I know why. It's because there's so much more in Destiny to worry about as far as nades and abilities and timing of those abilities. And okay, he just used this, so I know he's not going to have it back, or he could have it back in 5 seconds because of this mod, this, that, and the other. So there's just so much more to think about in Destiny than there is in COD.
Yeah, even Apex. I mean, it's the same thing.
And you can, and I'll argue that you can use the same mindset that you use in those games in Destiny. It's just a smaller map. However, instead of maybe a small handful of weapons that the enemy might have, you also have to think about literally,
a plethora of weapons.
3 years worth of weapons and armor that an enemy might be using against you.
And that gets a little overwhelming for somebody like myself.
For
where
sure.
I'm like,
if you know
let's
the
just throw it in.
Though, like you can always kind of start each match with this is the current overpowered meta. This is what I should be looking for. If you see something different just being in there every day, then you know how to counter certain things. But like, Jotun, everyone's like, oh yeah, Jotun's so hard to deal with. It's the easiest thing to deal with.
I don't know how people can't deal with it. I'm literally standing there for like 3 seconds charging this bitch up. So if you see me, all you got to do is step to the side, and now I just missed you. So I really don't. Yeah, I don't understand how Jotun is not.
Well, I mean, if you know how to use Jotun, you don't shoot it straight and you don't shoot it up. You jump in the air and you shoot down.
Well, yeah, I've learned how to use it. I'm saying I've countered against quite a because most people don't know what to do with it. I played with Jotun a lot, so it's the only fusion rifle I even understand how to time it.
It's not a fusion rifle.
Yes, it is.
It's an embarrassment to a fusion rifle. I love fusion.
It's not an embarrassment, y'all.
Yes, it is.
What are you doing?
So, I don't know. I mean, so there's some things, it's kind of weird. Like, I like to go into Crucible with a bow. I'd love bringing Wishender in, but
lay Monarch, baby.
Well, yes, but this is where I like to have a team because I like to play the kind of scout defender. This is actually how I got to Glory. I got a couple people together. I think even Mystery was one of my teammates. Maybe Joshy was the other one. Remember Joshy, guys? I don't know. That was a long time ago.
I remember Joshy.
And I said, okay, I'm coming in with Oathkeepers and I'm bringing Wishender. All right, and then I don't remember what I had, kinetic, and I probably had some
walls. That's what you had.
And I stood in the back, and just because with Oathkeeper, I could just hold that bow forever, and then I see through the walls, and I could tell them, here's where they're going. They're going over here. They're going over here. Now I don't always remember, A, B, and C on every map, as far as references, and that's how we got to 2100 in a night, in like 4 hours. Was I got to play the person who told them where they're going to be.
It's a good strategy. Is it cheesy? Hell yeah. But it worked for you.
It works, Yeah. So, and I do like playing with a bow. It sucks. Most of them, it's like a 2-shot. And by the time you get the second shot, you're already dead because they got some massive auto rifle aimed at your head. But
you're also a hunter. If you're an empowering rift with any lay Monarch or Wishender, it's a 1-shot.
Yeah, I haven't played with Lay Monarch in a while because I've been playing with Wishender and Tukus a lot, and then I've been trying out the new bow from this season. I cannot think of the name of it right now, but I've been trying to test out some of the new perks that are coming out on some of those bows. So I don't know, but then it's like, it's the season of the fusion rifle, and I'm like, I even brought out Sleeper Simulant, and I was like, God, it takes so long for this thing to shoot.
I know.
Just shoot him in the head with the sniper.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
just click heads.
Click heads, clicking. Just get good.
No, like in PvE, I'm taking out Sleeper so that it can get through some bounties. I'm just like, I know we had to use him in the Crown of Sorrows raid because. Oh God, what was that weapon that Bodhi always made us play with? It's like
Loaded question.
Loaded question. Thank you. Yep.
That was his favorite weapon.
That was his favorite, and it was great in that raid. Though it was perfect because you shoot it at the little hive that show up, and they're just gone. And then you put it away for a second, and it reloads itself, and then you get that first good shot. But
just real quick,
never been
just real quick. I just want to say hey to everyone in the chat. We are not ignoring you. I promise. I'm reading everything you say.
Yeah.
No, any. You are not training her, even though you are the boat guy. I'm a boat guy too.
Oh, hey, Donna. Hey, nice to see you.
Yeah, Donna.
And he can train if he wins a 1v1 against me.
Ooh.
I have nothing to do with it. I'm not even in bullet heads anymore. So
me and Annie, we 1v1'd the other day, and let's just say he didn't get 10, and I got 50. I think it was 8-50. So when he beats me, you can train her. I promise.
You don't 1v1 anymore.
Not anymore. Not after that ass whooping. Anyways,
I feel like Slayton has something to say. Yeah,
I was gonna say he's been waiting, and his sound is not working.
You were on mute.
Look at him! Oh my god, my camera sucks. My sound's not working. This is stupid. Are you muted? Nope. He says I'm done. Here's the ceiling. That's more entertaining. Nothing. He's like, fuck it.
He's like, I'm done. I hate this stream. It is not working at all today.
It's all PvP. We could care less.
Well, it's his brand new computer too. That's not even working right.
It's because he's on his couch and not in his little fancy room. That's what
Yep.
His little box.
There I am.
There we go. All right, Slayton. Let's hear it, baby.
Sorry, y'all. I didn't have a lot to say because I really wanted to hear what you guys had to say about it. And Maddie brought up the best point that it's really fun, casual, and there's going to be a balance between hardcore and casual. But honestly, I just think if they were to just drop PvP and focus more on PvE, that we would have a much better game experience overall. Because there are ways you could bring in slight PvP things with world activities and other things.
WoW tried that, and it didn't work out too great for them.
They just go and do a storytelling game.
Do you feel if Destiny dropped PvP, would it survive long?
Yes, because they'd be able to put little resources they're putting into PvP into the actual game.
But
so
do
you mean
the
the zero resources they're putting into it right now?
Yeah, I know. So they're going to have 0 times 1 is still 0. But anyways.
Hey, Florida man knows math.
I love science, and they go hand in hand. So I might be missing a tooth, but I'm not stupid, sir. But no, it's still half of your community has basically always been PvP. Not so much lately. It's been more PvE. But do you think it would still thrive as a community? Because I know a lot of the hardcore PvP people would be gone.
They would be gone.
And I feel there'd be an influx in your Warzone, not PUBG anymore, but
that's fine.
Other games like that.
There are other games who handle PvP better. Let them handle it better. You guys will still come and play it for the story and have fun. I have no doubt that you play Destiny because you like the game, not just because of PvP. I mean, we do complain a lot, but it's a lot about PvP. Quit licking my knee, dog. You're freaking me out.
The salt on your skin.
So for me, my motto has always been, anyone that's ever played with me for any length of time knows my motto. I play just enough PvE to get the weapons I need for PvP. PvE does not hold me in the game. The story does not hold me. I will watch Asdacross or My Name is Bife if I want to know the story. I don't have to experience it.
See, that's love the issue with me playing the story. Like I said,
the way they've played out the stories has not been fun like back in the day. It's been a drip feed,
but they are trying.
That has been crap.
And it's been better than it has been.
has
I mean,
been
these
a lot
seasons
better.
at this
The
point
story's
are.
been good, but
I would
the
say
way
they're
I
The
have
last
played it
best
out is
story
boring
was
to me.
Forsaken. I
Yes.
mean, that was
I
that held
enjoyed that.
you for a
Yes,
couple
it did.
weeks. Yeah,
Yes, it
some
did.
people
Yeah,
grinded
you
out the
also
whole
had
thing in like
4
3 days.
studios working on that one
And it was
DLC.
amazing.
True. Like, yeah, it's a difference of
And
resources.
we also have to remember, they went independent not long after that COVID hit. Everything has changed. They have to drip feed the content to keep you strung along for the course of the season until they get back on course. Which is why I don't know how they're going to do a 6-month season. I have no idea how they're planning to do this.
The 30th anniversary.
Well, let me ask
That's
this
going to be
then.
their big content drop this season.
Let me ask them. They said the end of the Light and Dark sagas will be at Lightfall. Okay.
Oh, the final shape.
Right. So, wait, what?
It's
The final shape. It's the
Final
DLC
shape.
after Lightfall.
Yeah.
Yep.
After Lightfall. That's the end of the Light and Dark saga. Where do we go from there? Like, what is our
That's a
storyline
whole
going to
nother
be?
topic
And
for a
can
whole other show.
PvP survive that long?
No, I really do
2023,
think
right?
at this point in time, they really need to reevaluate and maybe spinning it off into its own, or just completely getting rid of abilities in PvP. Make it a complete just shooter game where you don't have to worry about abilities, and maybe they lock weapons each week. Maybe they do certain things.
If they had a couple game modes that were guns only, I know that's not Destiny, but if it were guns only and say nades and guns only, that to me, like all your movement abilities, all that stuff, just run around, just a normal jump, things like that, where it was gun focused, would save a little bit of your. I think it would be a popular playlist for people
but
who
you could argue that it wouldn't be Destiny PvP at that point.
Right, and that's what I say. I know it's not Destiny, but it would be a nice playlist to go to avoid the ability spam.
It's for the people who are the hardcore PvP people to keep them in the game, whereas the casual people like me and Maddie can play shotguns and mayhem until we bleeding from the eyes. Like we could go. So they really should just develop the 2 different tiers of PvP. But honestly, I just think it'd be better off just drop it.
I think we're still in the mindset of we need to be logging into this game every day to be doing what we need to be doing, and that there's content to support that, and it's just not the case right now, and it hasn't been the case in a couple of years. And so, I mean, even Bungie's community managers have done a better job of being like, if you're burned out, go play other games. There's a bunch of stuff coming out. There's a bunch of stuff out right now, especially if you have Game Pass. There's a ton of stuff you could go check out in the meantime.
But why would they be telling us that? Why would
because they understand? Because they well, I mean, that's the way that community support is going. There's
like
a lot
HR
of
person.
I mean, obviously they want us to come back, but if there's no content there, they'd rather us be happy and not bitching at them the entire time because there's no content.
So
well, and even if they had all the content, they have to realize as gamers themselves that there's a lot of us who love grinding out games, but we get to a point where I can't. I'm such a gamer. I can't play just the same game for 2 years. I got to take a break, step away. New disc game. I mean, that's like me. And every time a new Tomb Raider comes out, a new
Assassin's Creed
come out. If they came out with a new BioShock, a new Outer Worlds, they'd be like, "You guys."
I think they're to the point
all right,
where they're realizing they're not the only game anymore.
Right.
They're realizing they have to, garner our expectations with their capabilities, and so maybe they're like, "Yeah, do your weekly stuff and go play some other games."
So they've
gone
exactly
are the days of the single game gamers. Really, I mean, there's still people out there where WoW is their whole life. That's the only thing they're going to log on.
It would be
the only
different.
thing they're going to play, but
it would be different if it were still the 2000s, and you as a gamer would pick 2 or 3 games a year to play. Yeah. It'd be different if Destiny was in that era, but it's not. And there's so much access to everything. And again,
especially now we have Game Pass.
Yeah, Game Pass.
Plus
I mean,
month and you've got like 150 games available.
no,
Yeah.
it's way more than that now, and it's just
Yeah. I just threw a
so
number.
you have a wealth of games at your fingertips, and so you don't need to be playing the same game every single day for every single week and every year. You know, it's okay to take breaks, and so
And if they're
that's
taking that opportunity to back up, take it a little slow, and then provide us really great story content in the next couple seasons, I'm okay with that.
Do you feel that Destiny can survive that?
It will.
I do, yeah.
Because we exactly don't have the largest community, but we don't have the smallest either.
Yeah, it's going to survive and it's going to be fine. And with that, we're out of time for the show today. It's been amazing talk. And next week, we're going to get back to...
We didn't even get to talk about my boy. Jeez.
Well, we'll talk about that next week, because next week we're going to talk about how Trials worked out. I will jump into Trials and see how it plays out this weekend. I'll probably message you guys and see who's online to come play.
I might, jump into the freelance. Yeah.
Oh,
assuming it's available, because freelance might not
true.
be available on the onset.
True.
So we're going to talk about that next week and some more fun things. So thank you guys for tuning in and interacting. We'll be here Thursdays as long as there's something to talk about. I guess that's the best way to put it. So yeah, we will see you guys next week, and just be prepared for a lot of Trials talk. It's going to be really interesting.
Yep.
You don't have to go try it.